Hello, YouTube. Just here for a quick build update, just to talk about the setup and what I've been doing so far. So I've been pretty much farming for fun for the entirety of today. Um, I have about 100 billion DPs or so, and I did make a decision today. So my plan initially with the season was to play a Berserking Blade, but Berserking Blade is just really expensive to get up and running, and it's just always going to be worse than like combo skills or spike skills. It's mostly just the skill feels amazing to play. So I did make a decision to just abandon that idea for now, and instead, like, focus on just scaling, getting to deep space, doing all of those things. And then way later down the line, I'll, go for Berserking Blade. And with that decision, I'm decided I want to play Crescent Slash until endgame, because I really like how the skill looks and feels. I do have my effects turned off right now, just because with them turned on, I'm not tanking off it where I can just face tank everything, so I do die if I don't dodge stuff occasionally. So I bought myself a Heart of an Emitter, which is like 1.4k FP. I got pretty lucky and I managed to hit the corrode. I got very unlucky though, and the corrode min-rolled it to 2 instead of hitting the 3, which sucks. And my plan now for the build is I'm actually gonna swap to a Cicada Trinity setup. So a Cicada Shell Trinity setup as an energy stacker. So I have these gloves that I crafted. I just bought the base. It was, I think, 140 FE for the base with +1 at level 89. And then I just threw a bunch of basic affixes on it to try and, just fill up the item. And I YOLO'd the Cicada Shell, hit the correct one Cicada Shell, and then I went for the Trinity. And managed to hit Law of Trinity as well. So this is like a perfect outcome. Then I divined it, I corroded it. Obviously, I lost the corrosion. But I will be using this instead of my Ghost Soldier gloves. And then just be stacking Energy Shield on pretty much every item I have. Eventually, I'll drop this Heart of an Emitter as well for like a price snack, but that's like more down the line. And my goal of this setup is just going to be to get as much Energy Shield as possible to scale the Cicada Shell. And then the Cicada Shell is also getting scaled with Law of Trinity. Which also means I do need to recraft a few of my items and stuff, because, I went for pure fizz on my weapons. I with joined forces to get as much fizz damage as possible. To end up with like 408 flat fizz, 430 flat fizz. If you do Cicada Shell, all of your flat damage is coming from the Cicada Shell. So I'll be recrafting my weapons to instead have elemental damage, because there's no point in like converting fizz to anything when you do a Cicada Shell setup or a Law of Trinity setup. And you can't do conversions when you do Law of Trinity as well. And the goal is basically going to be for now to just get to like 25 or 30k energy shell, while also maintaining unmatched fervor. I still want to have unmatched fervor in the build, because if I have unmatched fervor, I can go centralized, which makes me significantly tankier, which feels really good. But yeah, that's how the build has been going so far. I've pretty much only been farming cube. Like, I'm doing currently cube Oasis to level up my Oasis, because I've heard it's pretty good. I'm just fully spec'd into cube. And on top of that, I'm just doing the League mechanic whenever I can. I already made a video on the League mechanic, and I'm telling you, I am an enjoyer of the Swarm. I have a success with a few different strats, but every time I get the Swarm, I pick it, because it's just so fun for me to do the Swarm. Just fill the board up and just have a trillion monsters. Even though it feels kind of bad when you get then into the mechanic, and it takes forever to get through it because there's so many pests. But that's a minor issue that I probably need to think about in the future. I just like being the Hive Queen. But anyway, I think that's everything for me. I also did swap back to Goddess of Hunting and Blade Runner. And when I do swap to Trinity, I'm actually going to be dropping Joint Forces completely and going Waiting Attack instead. Just because, there's no point in Joint Forces when all of my flat damage is coming from Cicada Shell. And I kind of do need to redo all of my slates as well, which is very unfortunate. But I think overall it's going to be a much more enjoyable experience for me. And it makes scaling defense a lot more linear as well, because scaling your energy shield is also scaling your You know, it not only scales your EHP, it also scales your damage. But I think that's gonna be it from me, YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy the build update. It was definitely turning into an unexpected season. Although Cicada Shot 20 was something that like we were talking about in the preseason as being like a potential build to go for. I just underestimated how frustrating it is going to be to form on a character that's essentially just playing Flicker Strike. Because at any point in time, I'm just teleporting into packs of mobs and getting instantly killed. And that's with me doing Cold Convert and permanently and having like instant freeze on everything. And it still feels really bad. I do want to play Berserking Blade eventually, but I'm just gonna leave it for like way later. And the nice thing about Cicada Shell is I can play Berserking Blade with Cicada Shell. The only thing is, you want Ghost Soldiers for Berserking Blade, so I will need to make a Cicada Shell chest instead of the one that I have right now. Most likely. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me, YouTube. I hope you guys had a lovely day. And I'll see you all again next time. Bye, YouTube. Bye-bye.